Now, here I want to talk about some customer defaults and modeling preferences. So first thing I'm going to do is go into Menu and go into Preferences. Here are all of the preferences that I have available to me within the modeling application. So as we go through this course, there are going to be things that I talk about, a little bit of preference this, a little bit of preference that. I want to make sure you understand where you go for these things. So we'll go into modeling, for example. This is an overarching modeling preference, and for this file, so this is going to travel with whatever file you have open if you make a change. And then you also have other certain modeling preferences that are going to be global, which I'll talk about here shortly. So you have general. So this is a distance tolerance. So tolerance determined for the part. You have optimization tolerances for derivative curves, those kinds of things. If I go to, for example, edit, what does my edit environment look like? Am I going to edit with a rollback? Am I going to edit inside of a specific environment? So these are some things that you want to make sure that you have set correctly per your corporate standard. So what I have set here may be very different than what you have set where you're currently located. But for this course, you want to make sure that you have edit with rollback, task environment, those kinds of things set up. And again, I talk about this a little bit later. So these are your modeling preferences. If I go under Menu once again, go into Preferences, I have Sketch preferences, there's Assembly preferences, some drafting preferences, also User Interface preferences. Visualization preferences give you an idea of what's in here. This allows you to control how you view your models when you do a fit, what you're looking at, how you're looking at things, line thicknesses, fonts, that type of stuff. Now, above those are what's called customer defaults. Under File, Utilities, Customer Defaults. Within the customer defaults, this is something that an admin really is going to dig in and start making modifications to. You can change some of these. Chances are you have an admin that's gone and locked some of these down, so you won't be able to manipulate some of them. But for example, under the modeling application, you saw something very similar to this already, right? We saw some distance tolerances. Again, this is a corporate-wide, corporate-level customer default. Here, this is my user default. You may have system defaults. You may have admin defaults. What units am I working within? Context of, right? Here are my edits that I just showed you under preferences. Again, this is a corporate-level, corporate-wide default settings. So feature parameters, you see freeform parameters, solid modeling, so on and so forth, various parameters that you have here that you may have to go manipulate. So if I look under sketch, these are again my sketch preferences, my tolerances, what am I working within, my selection intent rules, analysis, assemblies, drafting. So these are your customer corporate level defaults. Again, you may have access to some of these and you may not. And just as a final note, some of your customer corporate level defaults can be overridden with, let me cancel out some of the preferences that you have set here as well. So if you end up with something that you changed at the corporate level and it doesn't change, that's because there is an overriding preference that was set under the menu tool. Just to let you know, there's a few different places that you need to go and set things up in. And just because you set it up in one place doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to change because of a local preference that you may have set as well.